Hello, this is Amanda from Hookemcreations and welcome back. If you've been watching my videos, fantastic, welcome back. If you're new to this is a place where not only do I show tutorials for knitting and crocheting, my husband is also on my team of crafters. He will be showing some videos here soon on woodworking and a few other things that he does. And quite literally just a space for crafters to be crafters. That's really what we are. And today we're going to be starting a new series about a Christmas stocking that I've been making for the last 3-4 years now for this one family. And last year I was brand new to TikTok and I made a Christmas stocking, and I had a lot of people ask me questions about this stocking. And I'm going to first say that this is a Bernat Vintage Christmas Stocking pattern. This pattern, I obtained this pattern through a family that I only make these Christmas stockings for, because it is their family heirloom and I treat it as such. I do not use it for anyone else but this family. Second, this series is not endorsed by Bernat or any companies that own Bernat yarns. I'm not showing you the pattern. I'm not going to show you the pattern. You are quite literally, this series is, if you ever do obtain one of those patterns, these videos are more tips and tricks of how to read this pattern, how to do some of the decreases, or how to do certain things, and how I do it, rather than stumbling and tripping over yourself trying to figure it out. That's really what it is. It's a series on the progress of making the Christmas stocking. It's a tips and tricks series. It is not, let me show you how to do this pattern step by step. No, it's none of that, and I'm not going to show you the pattern, just the progress itself and maybe a couple tips and tricks. That is literally all you're going to be seeing from these videos. I mentioned that I obtained the pattern from a family. So when I first started this business, Hookemcreations, back in April of 2019, I didn't really have many customers. I just made a couple things and it was cute, crocheted, amigurumi type stuff, and people were liking it. And then one day I got a message from my husband's aunt, and I was kind of confused at first, but when she started to explain the whole situation, I immediately said yes. Apparently they have these vintage Christmas stockings that were made by a family member who is no longer with them. And well, since then the family has grown. Their kids have gotten married and now they have grandkids, and so they wanted to have Christmas stockings made just like theirs, made for the new family members. And of course I'm all about family tradition. I'm all about it, and especially at Christmas. I love family tradition at Christmas time. I love making my own new traditions with my kids and with my husband, and it's fun. It's so much fun. I enjoy it. So I took on this order and started making these Christmas stockings. Now, me being a knitter, I know how to do color work. I know how to make basically clothing from the waist up, but not necessarily clothing from the waist down. So I've never made socks. This was my first time making socks. I knew nothing about making socks, let alone a Christmas stocking. So I needed all the help I could get. So I was diving in, I was researching, I was finding videos, YouTube videos, and thankfully that we live in a day and a time that we have technology where other people are teaching people the craft of knitting and how to make a sock, because I knew nothing at the time. Though I will say that this pattern is well written, and there are other patterns by Bernat yarns, especially the Christmas stocking. This one is the candlestick, and it is complete, it is done, it is ready to go home to its owner and be ready for Christmas, just in time for Christmas. Actually, it's July now, but by the time you see these videos, it's September. So it's already home, it's ready for Christmas, and it's so exciting. I am so glad I get to be part of this family tradition and keep it going. I'd like to emphasize again, this is not a video endorsed by Bernat Yarns or any other company. The yarn I selected, to be honest, I don't even remember what brands the yarn was. I think one may be Caron, the Caron 1 pound yarn, and the other two I got back when AC Moore, a craft store, was still open, and I don't even remember the brand's name, to be honest with you guys. It's been that long. I think it was like the Studio Yarn by Nicole or something like that. I don't remember what the brand name was. But everything is complete, 100% handmade. It took me roughly about 2 weeks to make. Usually when I'm not recording things and I'm focusing on the project itself, it takes me anywhere from 7 to 10 days to make, but I got a little sidetracked a little bit because my two kids, my oldest is potty training, so we're focused on that. My youngest is still clingy to mom, so he likes to come up underneath my desk and come in between my legs and try to cuddle with me and try to get up while I'm trying to work. I also have 2 dogs, and it's kind of hard to take care of everything. And also we got hit with sickness. Luckily it was not COVID, so we didn't have any COVID in the house this time around. And on top of that, my husband is active duty military, so he's gone quite often, and we're busy, and I'm busy not only running the house but also running a business on top of everything else. So it took me a little bit longer this time around, and yeah, it still worked out, and we got it done. It's ready to go home, and I'm going to be packaging it up and sending off to the new owner here soon. But enjoy this series, watch the progress of how it is made, and yeah, let's get started. To start off this project, I am going to use size 6 knitting needles, and I am using the straight needles. Here in the pattern it calls for double pointed needles, but I find it easier to use the straight needles first, then transition into double pointed needles later on, and you'll see why in a minute. I have 3 colors I'm going to be working with because there's going to be a lot of color changing and patterns and things like that. So I have all my yarn ready to go, and let's get started. First color I'm going to start off with is the green. This is going to be the cuff of the stocking, and I'm going to go ahead and get a long tail cast on going. Okay, I made it with the tiniest little tail ever, but I have 60 on here. I have 60 stitches on my long knitting needle. This is a 14-inch knitting needle, by the way. That's why I was in and out of camera view this whole time. So, just like the last video, I showed you guys with the beginning knitting, how to learn how to knit tutorials that I did not too long ago. This pattern asks for ribbing, so we're going to start ribbing. Like that. Alright, so I completed my first row of ribbing. Now I only have 7 more rows to do, and I'm going to do that off camera real quick because it's just easier that way for me. But I will be back in just a sec. And I am back, I am done. I did the 8 rows of the ribbing, and as you can see, it is a huge needle. Like I said earlier, it's 14 inches long, and this is just the start of this project. If you are interested to see how this project goes and finishes, be sure to hit the subscription button and ring the bell and get notified of when the next video comes out. Be sure to buy us some coffee. The link is in the description below. And until next time, happy crafting!